Through the haze of smoke, a soldier crawled, bloodied and broken. His hands trembled as he dragged his fallen comrade across the field, shielding them with his own body. The world around him screamed for his surrender, but he refused. He would not leave anyone behind.
They have mastered creation and annihilation in equal measure, yet even here, amidst destruction, there is something extraordinary.
The station hung in orbit, crystalline and resplendent, a lone sentinel above a swirling gas giant. Its walls pulsed softly, alive with the resonance of the Aelorian language, a melody from a forgotten age. But the stillness was broken. The sound came unexpectedly, a voice from the abyss of forgotten time. A signal, jagged and dissonant, tore through the tranquil hum. The ancient tones of the Aelorians, distorted by something alien, something human.
This dialect, it's ancient. No one has spoken it in 10,000 cycles.
Aelor stood amidst the shifting holograms of the archive, the light of his people's history dancing across his face. The signal reverberated through the station, carrying with it an undeniable truth. Something long buried had awakened.
The signal is noise, Aelor. Primoris was declared barren and uninhabitable cycles ago. There are no voices to speak from that graveyard.
And yet this noise carries the tones of our origin. This is no accident. It's a call, one we cannot ignore.
The Senate's voice faltered, a flicker of unease breaking through their veiled authority.
Primoris is a death world. Its silence is sacred. Whatever you've heard, it is better left undisturbed.
If it is barbaric, it is because we abandoned them to darkness. But even in darkness, the truth calls to us.
The debate raged, the Senate chambers filled with whispers of caution and fear. In the end, they relented, but their words carried a shadowed warning.
Proceed, but heed this. Observe, do not engage. Some doors, once opened, cannot be closed.
And so, Aelor was given a small team, a fragile vessel and a single directive: observe, but do not engage. He set his course for Primoris, the cradle of their civilization, a world abandoned to myth and ruin. But not all echoes should be answered. Not all truths should be unearthed. Yet some are too powerful to ignore. Earth, once called Primoris, the cradle of all that we are. We expected a graveyard, a world abandoned to desolation. But from above it was alive, a vibrant blue marble, its surface teeming with contradiction.
Their cities rise like beacons, defying the chaos that surrounds them. Their hands shape wonders, yet their hearts leave scars. They wage wars, yet create beauty that endures.
But what Aelor saw inspired not only awe, but doubt. To one of his team, the sight spoke of failure.
Contradiction? No, it's chaos. How could beings descended from us devolve into this?
But the instrument spoke a truth no one expected. Faint, buried amidst the noise, was something extraordinary.
Their DNA, it carries our markers. They're not strangers, they are us.
If they are us, what does that say about us? About where we're headed?
Aelor's gaze lingered on the planet below, his thoughts a maelstrom of wonder and fear. Was this a mirror of their past, or a glimpse into their future? And as the ship hovered in silence, one truth loomed above all. Some reflections are too dangerous to ignore. The battlefield stretched endlessly beneath an amber sky, its light veiled by smoke curling upward like specters of the fallen. Below, chaos reigned. Two factions of humans fought with relentless ferocity, their ingenuity turned into engines of destruction. Drones, tanks, and rudimentary energy weapons tearing the world apart. It was a war of dominance, not survival, a tragic dance where life was reduced to ash. And yet, even amidst this carnage, something unexpected stirred, a flicker of humanity too stubborn to die. Through the haze of smoke, a soldier crawled, bloodied and broken. His hands trembled as he dragged his fallen comrade across the field, shielding them with his own body. The world around him screamed for his surrender, but he refused. He would not leave anyone behind.
They have mastered creation and annihilation in equal measure, yet even here, amidst destruction, there is something extraordinary.
From our cloaked vantage point, we watched in silence. The instruments hummed beside us, unraveling the truth hidden in their blood. The genetic markers were unmistakable. These humans were no strangers. They bore the legacy of Aelorian pioneers, exiled long ago to survive Earth's brutal embrace. Their DNA carried our past. They were our descendants, forged by the stars and tempered by millennia of hardship. They were kin, heirs to a legacy they had long forgotten.
We cannot remain silent. They deserve to know who they are, what they are.
But some truths are dangerous. To speak is to shatter the silence, to awaken forces that have slumbered for eons. Below us, the battle raged on, and in the amber haze of dusk, the echoes of humanity's future began to ripple across the void. The volcano raged like an ancient god, its molten wrath carving a fiery path toward the helpless city. The ground trembled underfoot, buildings shuddered, and the air choked with ash. Humanity stood at the brink of annihilation.
We need to evacuate now. The shelters won't hold against this.
Dr. Elena Garcia, a voice of reason amidst the chaos, fought to save her people. But she knew the truth. No effort, no evacuation would be enough. Their fate was sealed. And then from the heavens we came. Our ship descended, crystalline and alien, its shimmering form cutting through the ash-choked sky. To them, we were saviors or invaders. They feared us, and yet they needed us.
We come in peace. Allow us to help.
Help? From where? From who?
From those who know your past and your future.
The lattice of energy unfolded, a web of light against the darkness. With precision and power beyond their understanding, we turned back the tide of destruction, redirecting the rivers of fire and calming the trembling earth. When the final tremor ceased and the city stood saved, I stepped out into their world. The ash swirled around me, the air thick with heat and disbelief. I came face to face with her, Elena Garcia, the woman who would become the bridge between our worlds. But even then I knew what we had done was only the beginning. The air was thick with ash, the sky smoldering with the anger of the earth. At the base of the volcano, where fire met stone, two worlds collided. She approached cautiously, her silhouette framed by the restless glow of molten rock, and I stood before her, a being of light and crystal, refracting the dim light into fractured rainbows.
What are you? What do you want?
Her voice was strong, but her hands betrayed her, trembling as they clutched a datapad. She demanded answers, though I could see the fear behind her defiance.
I am Aelor, a historian of the Aelorian people, and you are our kin.
Kin? That's impossible. We've never seen anything like you.
Her words were not wrong. To her, I was an impossibility, a relic of a forgotten history. Yet the truth had bound us long before this meeting.
You are the descendants of our pioneers. Stranded here, you adapted, you endured. You thrived in ways we never imagined.
Her skepticism flickered, a spark of understanding igniting beneath her disbelief. But the weight of the revelation was too much to bear without anger.
If we're your kin, why abandon us? Why leave us to suffer?
Her question hung in the air, heavier than the ash that fell around us. I had no answer that could ease her pain, but the truth demanded to be spoken.
We believed you would perish. Your world, your challenges, they seemed insurmountable. We thought silence would spare us the grief of your loss, but you proved us wrong.
In that moment, under an ashen sky, we stood as strangers bound by the echoes of a shared origin. Neither could fully trust the other, yet neither could deny the bond that pulsed beneath the surface. And so, the seeds of a new story were planted, though neither of us knew what it might grow into. The volcano had quieted, its fury subsiding into a restless slumber. Beneath a canopy of stars, we stood at the summit, a meeting of worlds, of histories, and of futures yet unwritten.
This shard, it holds the stories of our ancestors, your ancestors. It is a fragment of what we.
The crystalline shard caught the starlight, refracting it into a cascade of colors. It was more than an artifact. It was a bridge, a fragile link between the ancient and the unknown.
In our culture, we have symbols too. This is for peace.
From her hand, she extended an olive branch, simple, weathered, enduring. It bore no shimmer, no glimmering light, and yet it spoke volumes, a gesture as old as conflict itself, reaching across the divide.
Peace, yes, it means the same to us.
In that moment, under the watchful gaze of the cosmos, something unspoken passed between us. The crystalline shard in my hand glowed faintly in response, resonating with her gift, as though the universe itself acknowledged our exchange. It was not just an exchange of objects, it was an offering of trust, a symbol of hope. Two paths, once sundered, now began to intertwine. The stars above seemed to whisper, reminding us that even in the face of endless void, there could be connection. The dawn broke gently over Earth, painting its skies in hues of gold and amber. Our ship rose, its crystalline hull catching the first light of day, a shard of heaven ascending into the stars.
We came expecting barbarity, a fractured world consumed by chaos. Instead, we found resilience, hope, and a mirror to our own forgotten past.
Below, on the surface of that resilient world, one voice rose above the rest.
They were here, they saved us, and they left a piece of themselves. This shard, it glows not just with their power, but with their trust. A message, clear and undeniable. We are not alone.
And as their voices reached us across the void, we retreated to our crystalline chambers, the weight of our discovery heavy in the air.
They are more than what we feared. They are a bridge to what we once were and what we can become.
And so, under the same stars, two civilizations gazed upward, one searching for answers among the heavens, the other contemplating the shadows of its own forgotten truths, bound now by a shared realization: we are not so different after all.